Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. The other night as I was watching the Prelude to SummerSlam special that the WWE Network put on talking about the Brock Lesnar versus John Cena Royal Rumble match, I was wondering why they kept on talking about Extreme Rules 2012 and never brought up the fact of Backlash 2003. I know that it seemed like that they were trying to make an excuse in the storyline why John Cena got the win over Brock Lesnar. It seemed that they kept on bringing up the disease that Brock Lesnar was fighting at the time, saying that was the reason why he was only 50% of that match. And he did dominate John Cena, but he came up a little bit empty at the end. I was wondering why they never brought up the fact that Backlash 2003, the match when the young rookie John Cena won a tournament on SmackDown to become the #1 contender to fight Brock Lesnar, to be the first guy that would step into the ring after his match with Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. It seems that, like, No Mercy, when I went back and watched them at WWE Network, it wasn't really a throwaway pay-per-view. It just was basically a throwaway match for Brock Lesnar. I think it was something to put John Cena on the map. I watched the Hogan versus Brock Lesnar match from 2002, and that one was when John Cena was a young rookie with the ruthless aggression. He was teaming with Rey Mysterio, and I can't remember who the other guy was that saved my life. And they were saying that they were the future of SmackDown, and they were going to be taking over. Around October of that year, basically Cena was looked at as kind of stale. They really didn't have anything for him. He did the rapping Vanilla Ice gimmick, which really took off, and he started doing the rapping on the way to the ring. At WrestleMania 19, Brock Lesnar came out. He won the Undisputed Championship, or I can't remember if it was still called Undisputed at that time, or if it was just the WWE Championship. He won from Kurt Angle. Of course, he did the backflipperoo off the top rope, landed on his face, and that's the one thing most people remember about that match. And if it wasn't for that, that would be one of the best wrestling matches of all time. Kurt being in there with his neck pretty much just being held on by strings, being able to lead Brock through a great match. And it's just too bad Brock, when he won at the end, doesn't know where the hell he is, doesn't know where the hard camera is. Basically, the referee is leading him around the ring to get his picture taken from every different angle to make sure they have the best shots for all the promotional stuff that they're going to be doing in the future. If you ever get a chance, it's on the WrestleMania 20 DVD. The Mania of Mania documentary really goes into what Brock Lesnar goes through after that match, basically fighting off the officials as they try to get him on a gurney to go to the hospital, knowing that he's definitely got a concussion after landing on his face right there in the middle of the ring. But honestly, they built up John Cena for this match. They held a tournament on SmackDown where in the first round he beat Eddie Guerrero. The second round, by run-in, he defeated The Undertaker via help of the FBI, and then beat Chris Benoit in order to go on and become the #1 contender here. But honestly, watching the match, it's held in Boston, which is John Cena's hometown, so he was a heel, so they brought him out in New York Yankees gear, cheering the Yankees, and basically, the fans don't really fall for it. They want to cheer for Cena, but they just chant, "Yankees suck," basically what's going on. And then once Brock hits the ring, I don't know if it's because I'm watching this so many years later, or if it's just, I felt like, I just felt sorry for Cena that he was in the ring with Brock. Basically, Cena puts up the same demeanor he has now of hustle, loyalty, and respect. He wants to fight Brock, but Brock is just twice as large as he is and twice the size he is. It's unfair for anybody to go in there and fight Brock Lesnar. Even though he's the heel, there's no real way that Cena gets the advantage. Brock basically takes the fight to the outside. He runs Cena into the announce table, bangs his head on it as they fight around. Cena throws Lesnar into the ringside steps, which splits Lesnar open, and he's sort of gushing blood throughout the match. But honestly, when I watched it, I honestly never thought that there was a chance that Cena was going to win that match. There just was, every time Lesnar got his hands on him, he was delivering a spine buster or some kind of just power move to just get Cena out of the match, and the only way that Cena ever really gets into it is when Cena, wraps his fist and he's about to hit Lesnar with the chain, which basically he was using for his finisher at that time, and the referee just comes in and he's like, hey, no, you're not doing that, I see that chain. Takes the chain from Cena, and as Cena is taking the chain away, basically Lesnar just comes up behind, just grabs him, throws him into the F5, and it's 1, 2, 3. And Cena really never gets another shot at the championship from there. He would be, here and there on shows. On SmackDown, they were making him look like $1 million. But the way most people are going to remember how your year goes is how you are on pay-per-view. He would be off a few shows before, I believe it was Unforgiven. He fights and loses to The Undertaker. Then at No Mercy of 2003, he loses to Kurt Angle. He really wouldn't get his first break until Survivor Series, when he turns down the shot at joining Team Lesnar. He ends up turning babyface and going with Team Angle. That's which would lead to him going and being in the Royal Rumble. It came down to the last two guys, where Batista gets a win. Both of them fall out of the ring. Vince comes down, tears some quads, restarts the match. Batista finally gets the win. And it ends up being that, I can't remember how Cena ends up becoming the #1 contender to go to WrestleMania 21 in order to fight JBL. But it ends up being, he wins the championship and, off to the races with John Cena from there. Go to WrestleMania 22, and he's main eventing the whole deal. It's weird how stuff like this works out. WWE just doesn't want to look back at this match at all. They just act like it never happens, much like that, Undertaker versus Triple H at WrestleMania. When WrestleMania 28 was coming around, they kept on playing this off like it was the first time these guys were ever going to meet at WrestleMania. And it's like, no, they fought back in the day. I saw it. I remember it. It was one hell of a match. Triple H took the chokeslam from hell from way up on top of one of those podiums, even though you could tell there was a crash pad down there. It still looks badass to this day. But unforgotten history. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at Backlash 2003. I turned on the show on the WWE Network. I still hate the fact that there is no skip feature throughout the match. You have to turn on the fast forward. With the fast forward, you don't know when to stop because there is no sort of time breaks on when the matches are. So you're just left with a dark screen, and you have to press play every once in a while. I started the show, and it had a very good tag team match at the very beginning. It was Team Angle going up against the Guerreros. That was really fun. And I was like, hey, you know what? I just watched a 15-minute tag match. I might as well just watch the whole show. And then Sean O'Hare came out to face Roddy Piper. No, Sean O'Hare came out to fight Rikishi. And I just said, bloop, 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 bloop. Fast forward throughout the show. At one point, I stopped it during the Jazz versus Trish Stratus match just because I always hated Jazz so much. And I was really hoping that this was going to be the match where Stratus got the win over her, because when I saw Jazz fight, I always just was like, this ain't fair, dude. That's a dude. That ain't no chick. I saw the Lesnar versus Cena match, which led to a 6-man, and then of course Goldberg versus Rock finished the show. Pretty good end to a show. 3 good matches to end it out, but I wouldn't watch the whole thing. Peace out.